So when we're looking at modern style, we have to first look at the history, where it came from. So we can start with theater of the absurd and some of the characteristics that we see in theater of the absurd. First of all, theater of the absurd means that it is out of harmony with reason and propriety. Often the characters speak, but they fail to communicate. Plays and scenes move in circles. Characters have a feeling of being trapped. The plays move forward, but they don't always advance. The ending is the beginning. Location is often unrecognizable, and the world of the characters seems to make sense only to them. Now, if we look at Pinter, some of the details in Pinter looks realistic. He will focus a lot on motionless tableaus, characters who stand in one place, but they have a meaning in terms of that particular image that they're standing in. Scenes will tend to have a build, but no real climax. There's the feeling in Pinter's plays that another attempt would yield the same results. Emphasis is placed more on the action than the actual language. So as an audience, we pay more attention to what the character is doing than what the character is saying. Rooms are never entirely comfortable. Characters, they play games of dominance in his plays. He's famous for the Pinter pause, so characters will take long periods of time before they respond to something, but yet there's a lot of action, there's a lot of emotion, there's a lot of meaning that's happening in that pause. The language also appears to be very deliberate in his plays. Now, if we look at David Mamet, who came after Pinter, he is an American playwright, and his plays display American life at the end of the 20th century. He makes use of fragmented dialogue. So you have characters who speak with what we call vocalized pauses. They have a lot of ums and ahs, the way that people actually speak. And as an actor, it's very important for you to be able to memorize the lines exactly as is written with all of these fragmented dialogue and vocalized pauses. The language seems to be primitive and instinctual. Characters often appear to be vicious and violent in his plays. The characters appear trapped. Characters also have no moral laws or moral code. They seem to just operate from guttural instinct. His entire play is treated, and this is in his own words, as a structural joke. There's a strict division between the sexes. It almost appears as if they tolerate each other, but that's about it when it comes to the relationships in his plays. Spaces in his plays are often pressure cookers. You get the feeling that something is about to explode or boil over on his sets. The outside world always appears dangerous, meaning that no matter how difficult things are inside, it always feels that things would be even worse outside of those doors. And his characters oftentimes speak in language that is beyond their educational status. Now, if we look at theater of the absurd, if we look at Pinter, and if we look at Mamet, three styles that have built upon the previous style, that brings us to Sam Shepard. And that brings us to our first project of modern style, which is going to be the play Savage Love that all of you will be working on. So I encourage you to look at the script of Savage Love. You'll find it in the modern style segment of Blackboard, and we will continue our conversation from there.